Hi, everybody. How are you doing today? As always, I am your host, Karen Brown, and I'm here to talk with you today about your comfort level when it comes to renovating. Now, this is for both homeowners and contractors. So, homeowners, when you are designing either a new build or a renovation, how involved do you get in the specifics? Most people just kind of lay out the footprint, choose the flooring, the cabinetry, the paint colors, the appliances and the hardware, and they leave the rest to the contractor. You assume that at the conclusion of the project, there will be electrical outlets, there will be light switches, there will be a place to plug in the dishwasher and house it. Did you know that you can actually determine the placement of all of that? You don't need to leave it to other people to do what they've always done. You actually get to look at your own circumstances and decide that you would like the electrical outlets to be higher so that you don't have to bend over so far. Did you know that a dishwasher doesn't have to be on the floor? I know, most people have no idea. You can actually install the dishwasher raised 6 inches at least. 12 inches is better. Put a cupboard underneath or a drawer. Most people never think of doing these kinds of things, but if your dishwasher was higher, you wouldn't have to bend over so far. And maybe it wouldn't be quite the dark cave that a lot of them end up being because you have to bend over so far. But really, I'm talking about something that makes your house function better for you. Did you know? Did you know if you are building a house, a brand new house, and if you line up cupboards vertically on every floor, because let's face it, lots are very narrow these days. Most houses are 2 or even 3 stories. If you line up the cupboards in the basement, the first floor, and the second floor, you have essentially created an elevator shaft, should you need it in the future. That's most of the renovation work done. You can use them as cupboards until you need them. But the major expense of actually creating that space, you've already taken care of. Do you ever think that far ahead in your own future? Do you want to actually create a forever home when you're building or renovating? Or do you just think, well, we've always done it this way, so let's do it this way? No. You can actually design the home that you need. Wild concept, isn't it? And contractors, how about you? How free do you feel to make suggestions that will benefit your clients? Do you ask them how high they want the electrical outlets? Do you suggest to them that if they're 50 years old-ish and doing a kitchen renovation, that they might want to consider raising the dishwasher? In a bathroom renovation, do you ask them if they would like to consider a shower without a curb? I mean, first of all, that just looks ritzy. Have you ever traveled in Europe and you see these showers? They go by so many names. European shower, Italian shower, curbless shower, roll-in shower, walk-in shower. They have all kinds of names. What it is a shower without a curb that has to be stepped over. Do you know how to do that as a contractor? Do you know that there's a company in Canada that teaches you how to do that? Yeah, there is. And you can suggest that to your client. Do you know that a roll under sink is something that you could consider? It's basically just a sink without cabinetry under it. Or if you do build cabinetry, you build it so that it can be taken away should the need arise. Do you feel free to make these suggestions? Do you feel free, if you know your client has a progressive disease, to ask them to bring in their OT to show you where the grab bars should be located, and to suggest modifications that might benefit them, maybe not so much today, but down the road, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? All of these kinds of modifications can be done when the original renovation or build is taking place. And then they don't have to come back and do something all over again. You know, They don't teach this stuff in school. I know that when contractors go to school, they don't teach how to do these kinds of things. They don't talk about accessibility unless somebody raises the issue. Accessibility is often thought of as pertaining to people who are in wheelchairs. And because you may not see people in wheelchairs often, it's not something you think of. It's not even in your mind. But there are lots of different kinds of accessibility that are required. There are people with sight impairments, hearing impairments, progressive diseases, people who are born with a disease that limits their range of motion or their ability to function in a house built the way that we typically build them, but with a little modification to accommodate them, they can live independently with dignity. And really, isn't that what we all want? No matter your age, no matter what challenges you may face, you want to live in your home with dignity. I was talking to a gentleman this morning who said that 20%, let me get this right. 1 in 20 interactions with contractors where they put down a down payment, there's a problem. Somebody absconds. And in larger centers, like Vancouver was the instance that he used, it's more like 1 in 10. That's a problem. That's a problem, particularly for people who don't know what they want. Now, he did suggest to me that a lot of the times these deposits that are just bailed on or money that's absconded is a result of the communication not being there. Homeowners don't know what they want. Contractors thought they wanted this, but they wanted something else. It's just kind of a mess. And the language is not common. The language is not common between homeowners and contractors. And we need to rectify that. What would you think? Just as a wild thought, if on the Reno Studios website, we started maintaining a list of contractors who work in the accessibility space. And if you're a contractor and you have experience and reviews to back it up, we can include your name and then people can find you there. It is so hard to find people who know how to do this kind of work. I know some contractors that I work with who work exclusively in accessibility, and I'd be happy to put their names on the list. Maybe they have a colleague in some other town or city or even another country, and they can suggest that individual. What would you think? If we did that, would that be something that would be helpful to you? Homeowners, I do hope that you watch our Real Life Reno series and listen to the podcasts as well as watch the videos, because you will pick up some hints and tips and tricks that you can ask your contractors about. You can take the steps to proactively plan to build or renovate your forever home. Forever as long as you want to live in it anyway. Think about that and let me know. Let me know in the comments below or send me a private message. I'm okay with that too. Anyway, until next week, be kind to one another, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you later. Bye.